Welcome back. After reaching the end of the epic Carretera Austral, we find ourselves embarking on the next chapter of our journey, and are spending 41 hours on a ferry which takes us even further south. Get ready to explore the remote and mesmerizing landscapes of southern Chile with us. We are Andrea and Mike from Xtremes. Since 2018, we have been living and traveling full-time in our Mercedes-Benz Trucks expedition truck. Join us on our journey around the globe. As we head south on the Carretera Austral, we make a little detour to the Valle Exploradores. The 90-kilometer-long road is a dead end in the fjords of Chile. The road is narrow and luckily there isn't much traffic. Just as we enter the valley, Mike notices that the odometer of our Oxor marks 222,222.2 kilometers. When we bought our truck back in 2015, it only had 87,000 kilometers on the clock. So even though we have already taken it to Iran, Mongolia and Russia, zigzagged through Europe for 3 years and now spent 1.5 years in South America, we haven't actually driven that many kilometers with it. Our next highlight is a boat tour to the marble cathedrals. We're super lucky with the weather because without any sunshine, the pristine waters of the Lago General Carrera wouldn't be as colorful. Back on the main road, we help a trucker out who had gotten stuck while delivering fuel. He had been waiting a whole day by the time we came by and is happy that he can finally get back on the road. From here, the Carretera Austral is narrow, and although there's barely any traffic, we have to be ready to brake to a full stop at every turn, because the locals come flying around the corners at full speed. Next, we visit Caleta Tortel, a town which is completely car-free. There's a big parking lot on top of the hill, and from there we can access the village on a 7-kilometer-long maze of boardwalks. While it continues raining, we keep pushing south. A small ferry takes us across an inlet, and from there we only have 100 kilometers left to the end of the road. But we take our time, we camp in several spots and enjoy the wilderness. And finally, we reached the end of the 1,247 kilometer long Carretera Austral. We spent almost a full week in the remote Villa O'Higgins, hiking several routes to viewpoints from where we can see across the border to Argentina and to the beginning of Chile's southern ice fields.
How's the hike?
Steep,
Very steep, huh?
but nice. And the views are great.
Yes, they are.
Villa O'Higgins is a dead end, but instead of driving back the 300 kilometers to the next crossroad, we only drive back 100 kilometers and board yet another ferry. This time we spend 2 nights on board. The ship takes us to the fjords of Chile. Even though it's freezing, we spend most of our time on deck, taking in the views of the passing landscapes. The captain makes an extra stop at a stranded ship and Villa Puerto Eden. It is considered one of Chile's most isolated inhabited places. Another highlight during the crossing is when the crew lower the ramp of the ferry right into the icy ocean, just so they can catch a couple of pieces of floating ice. Just before we arrive in Puerto Natales, the sun comes out and we get ready to disembark. And once again, we're ready to hit the road.